World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where we here at Leverage Credit Recovery do what we do best, which is help you get on track with your financial understanding. Welcome to Leverage Your Score. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I am your dressed down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Thank you so much, as always, for making the time to be here with us on Tuesdays, because this is the day where we do what we do best, which is help you find that financial place where you can start recovering. Credit is about recovery, and I always have to mention this because for some strange reason, people think that you can repair credit. They think that you can fix credit. You can't do neither nor. It's about recovery. You have to recover from but most of these financial setbacks that you find yourself in, because it's been systemically put in our faces. It's been designed this way to keep us in these spaces and places, and it's now overdue time for us to recover. So I want to thank you always for making the time to be here. And before we get started, do what I do and ask you to do all the time. Go ahead and send out an invite to some of your faves and let them know, hey, that guy's back on again. He's talking about that thing that he talks about all the time, which is helping you find that financial recovery so that you can put yourself back on that pathway. I want to thank everyone who makes the time. I want to give a huge shout out to our producers, our frequent guests, our understandings of everyone who literally understands that what we do here is going to help you get to that next level. And that's what we're ultimately here to do. We got a new presidential cycle coming up. We have a new generation equally coming up. 2025 will present us with a brand new generation. So it is, as I always say, it is so great, so nice to be able to do what I do. And I am so elated and happy. I want to congratulate all the seniors out there who are now graduating and making their way into that workspace, wherever you decide to go. If you're going into the working space, if you're going to further your academia, if you're going to become that entrepreneur, I want to give class of 2024 a huge shout out. I know that there have been some issues over the last 4 years with how you have been navigating your academia, and I know it's been challenging for you, but you made it. You made it, class of 24, you made it. So congratulations on 12 years of success. Because I know a lot of you, and even my students, when I have to address them as well, they always, oh, well, I don't have no experience. Yes, you do. You have had 12 years of success. You have graduated, and now you're moving on to bigger and better things. So congratulations to class of 24. Congratulations to the underclassmen who are now moving up. And we're looking forward for you to do some great things as well. So today's topic of the show is going to be securing your financial future for this generation and beyond. And what we want to do is make sure that we're putting all of our youth on a platform of success. And I got some great news that I'm going to be sharing with you in just a minute here. So let's go ahead and dive into it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and grab that device and send that message out to those who are in your circles and let them know, hey, that guy's on there again and he's wanting us to join. So join in the conversations. These conversations are meant for you. They're designed, meant for you to come in and get all of what you need. And I always say all, but it's kind of a little misunderstanding when you do say all, because you're not going to get all. There's nothing, we can't give you all, but we can give you as much as your brain can consume. All right, but that we can do. We can give you as much as your brain can consume. All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. As I said, there's going to be a little slight bit of a item that pops up here, and just bear with us. As I said, it's going to show you the layout of our brand new office space that we acquired, and we are super excited, super happy that over the summer we're going to be focusing on our youth here in Yonkers. We're going to be focusing on our youth nationwide to make sure that our youth have what they need to be able to move into those spaces, places where we are needed. And being that you are now going to hopefully take us up on our financial literacy and financial intelligence with a hint of day trading and investing, we are super excited to bring you down that pathway. All right, so here we go. So this is a necessary conversation. We're correcting the narrative. And as you know, I am your host and CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I'm only going to play part of it, but I wanted you to see that this is our new office space. It's at 96 Main Street, Yonkers, New York, and it's going to be facilitating both of our understandings, clearly our leverage credit recovery, and it's also going to be facilitating our soon-to-be nonprofit organization, which is going to be YYE, which is Yonkers Young Entrepreneurs. And as I said, this space is amazing. Now you can see there's a big sitting area. We can obviously use this area for little small meetings. Here's that conference room that I just showed you earlier, or in the setup. So it's a nice size conference room where, again, we can do projections. They got pretty good. I know now that we're into the show, I'm going to pause it here and I'm going to move a little bit further, and I'll come back to it should the time permit. But this is as I said, it is a great space. It allows for us to have not just our opportunity to create what we need to create, but it's going to allow for, as I said, our youth. We need to be focusing on our youth to give them the understanding that generations have missed out on, and we cannot continue to allow our youth to not have what generations has prevented. It's now overdue time, and we are experts, we are talented, we are smart, we are savvy, and we're going to do what we need to do to make sure that our kids have. So the question that I'm going to be posing to you, would you rather eat for a day or eat for a lifetime? Eat for a day or eat for a lifetime? What's important to you? And I know a lot of people think about that question. They probably think, what is he really asking? Well, I could teach you how to fish, or I can keep giving you a fish. Which one is it? There's another saying where I can bring a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. This is tying into that eat for a day or eat for a lifetime. And we're going to have to make this decision. What is it going to be? Our politicians are doing as best they possibly can, or at least some of them are. Our elected officials, local, city, federal, you name it, state, they're doing as best they possibly can, but there's still some obstacles out there that we, the consumer, has to get in front of now and make the best for us. We cannot rely on those to do what we should be doing ourselves. And if we get in front of our financial situations, if we get in front of how to do what we need to do and stop relying on those who are taking our resources and not necessarily giving us that return, we'll probably find out that we've been shortchanged. And it's now not about getting angry. It's not about being mad. It's not about being upset. It's about now course correcting. So again, as we go through the program, I want you to think about that. Would you like to eat for a day, or would you like to eat for a lifetime? All right, so the topic of today, well, before I get into that, I want to I want to share a little bit about myself. So my name is Tyrone Glover, and I am a U.S. Army veteran with extensive experience in K through 12 education and corporate leadership. Over the past 30 years, I have worked with 19 companies in the United States and abroad, holding roles that focused on employee well-being and profitability. My background in European studies has been integral to my approach and success in these positions. And I've held quite a few positions over the course of that 30 years, worked for 19 different companies. I am known amongst my clients, friends, coworkers, students, and family for my extensive knowledge of credit advocacy, and activism. My dedication to consumer rights protections and support for a pro se litigant has been a hallmark of my work. Going forward, I am committed to ensuring that our youth and students of all ages have a voice and a seat at the table. It is very important that we, as the older generations, that we not just dismiss our youth. Our youth bring a lot to the table. And I have learned a lot in my last 10 years of being in the academia process or being in the academia space. And I want to thank all those wonderful professional academic scholars and all of these individuals that I've had the pleasure of meeting over the past 10 years in helping me understand we're going to need more of this. And what I'm pointing at is I'm pointing at this face. 2% of the academia space is African-American males. We have to definitely, if we're looking at, and I'm going to tell you some numbers that are probably a little bit alarming, but we're looking at 13 to 18% of African-American youth males that are in our schools, and just only having 2%, that's not cutting it. That is not cutting it. It's not doing not even nearly enough. And over the past 10 years, and next year will be my 10th year of being in the academia space. And that's why I acquired this office space so that I can, as of next year, I am, again, taking off the gloves. It's going to be knuckle punches. Not going to be them soft, but it's going to be knuckle punches because 10 years of being part of something and only seeing minimal growth in that area of, oh no, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. And I love the fact that it's coming up at a new generational time. I love the fact that it's coming up as we introduce possibly a president that is focused on democracy and not someone who might be focused on other agendas. We are now at that pivotal point in our history where if we course correct, we will probably save a lot of our youth. We'll probably save a lot of our vulnerable communities from further harm that may or may not have been committed by previous generations. We need to get in front of so that we can secure our financial futures. It's all about what we do, what we as a community does, not just the African-American community, but the community as a whole. I live in Yonkers, New York, but I'm not discounting White Plains. I'm not discounting New Rochelle. I'm not discounting Mount Vernon. I'm not discounting any of this Westchester area or the neighboring communities. I'm actually looking to include the neighboring communities. So it obviously I have to start at home, no question about that, but it's going to be up to us. What do we want moving forward? As I said, this is not about repair. It's not about fixing. This is about recovery. All right, so the agenda for today, as I mentioned, is securing the financial futures for this generation and beyond. The United States holds the 14th position globally in terms of financial literacy. Why is that? Why is it that we call ourselves the greatest nation on the face of the planet, but yet we hold the 14th global position in financial literacy? How is this possible? Take a minute. Yes, I agree with you. It's only possible because we have dropped the ball. We have literally, and as I said, I've been in the academia space for 10 years, and what I have seen in this particular understanding of academia is that we're not focused on a lot of things. And one of those big things that we're not focused on is making sure that our kids understand how money works and making sure that these kids not only know how they work, but they also are making sure that their parents know how they work. And that's why it's important for us now to shift our attention. And believe me when I say not tried, I've done almost everything that I could do to transition adults from the understanding of what they know about credit and what they know about finances into a space where they're more comfortable. But as I've been saying it over and over and over, adults are grown. They don't want to be told what to do. And I can understand it because I'm an adult as well. I don't want to be told what to do. But I think it's important that we make suggestions, we make recommendations, and those who understand that their situations may not have been as ideal as they have may wanted it, this is now the time frame to course correct. It's not about telling you what to do. It's about course correction. And if you take these recommendations, these suggestions, and again, they're going to be plethora. There's going to be that many. But I'm asking you to bring it into this right there. I want you to own up to what you've done. And then I want you to forget about what others have done to you. It's not about being mad. It's not about being upset. It's not about being angry. It's not about being any of those adjectives that are constantly used when they're describing us as a community. We need to let banks, financial institutions, employers, unions, government officials, elected officials, courts, judiciary, all of them know we as consumers are done with the shenanigans. Y'all have done what you needed to do to make sure that your pockets are full. We are living in trillion-dollar economies. It is now time to make sure that that wealth is spread out amongst the communities so that they can thrive. I've said it many times, and I'm going to constantly keep saying it. When our money makes it into the community, in the African-American community, it sits there for only hours. And in other communities, it's staying in those communities for up to 21 to 28 days. There's another one of those why questions. Why? Why is this? How is it that our dollar stays so little in our neighborhoods, but our impact of our dollar, how we spend it, does so much for others? We need to hone in on why this is. And I can tell you one of the reasons why, because it's not being taught in our academia. Just like civics, and this is not a political show, it's not a civics educational show. This is a financial literacy show and financial intelligence show, but guess what they all do? They are intertwined. They are linked together. And the more that we try to exclude one piece, we leave out a very important piece that could also clear the way for us to understand, wow, these things are connected, and we must make sure that we're talking about all of these elements. But as I said, 14th position, that's not a very good place to want to be. All right, so the Aspen Institute, the USA Today, in the United States, 16% of suicides are linked to financial problems. Yes, that's another alarming number. 16% is alarming because of the fact that it's overwhelming. It is overwhelming when you don't have the means to be able to make sure that you have a roof over your head. It is overwhelming when you have to consider whether or not you're going to buy your medication or if you're going to go to work. It is, or put food on the table. It is overwhelming. And every single young adult that I see, and even the seniors today now as well, they are stressed to the hilt because they do not see their financial situations as a positive one. Additionally, a recent report revealed that less than 1/4 of young Americans ages 18 to 26 feel optimistic about their financial future. Terrifying. Terrifying. And it's sad to have to say that when we live in trillion-dollar economies. Help me understand, how is it that Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, how is it that Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, we got multi-billionaires, and then we got multi-trillion-dollar companies. How is it that we have billionaires and soon to be possibly, and hopefully, well, I don't know, I'm not sad to say hopefully, but it's going to be in our lifetime that there's going to be a family that has a net wealth of $1 trillion. I'm old enough to where I have seen $100,000 companies turn into $1 million companies, $1 million companies turn into $1 billion companies, and now we can say that we're watching $1 billion companies now turn into $1 trillion companies, but yet we have rampant homelessness, yet we have rampant poverty, yet we have rampant wage stagnation, we have rampant disparities throughout, but yet people are getting richer and richer and richer and richer and richer. 600,000, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 600,000. I'll pull it up. But I believe it was 600,000 new millionaires were created in the United States last year. 600,000 new millionaires. What are they doing that the rest of us don't understand how we're supposed to be making our money work? What are we not doing? That 600,000 people became millionaires, but yet we still have rampant poverty. These statistics that I'm showing you here are disturbing, but yet the understanding of what's going on in our communities are equally horrible. We have to do a better job. We have no other choice. Okay, we have no other choice. So what is your financial literacy grade in your state? What is your financial literacy grade? This is a national report, a grade each state in the United States and the District of Columbia and Puerto Rico in terms of K through 12 financial education. These grades are based on current available statewide requirements, standards, and curriculums for personal finance. Look at the map and tell me, where is your state? Because here's my state right there, New York. And New York is letter D. That's not a good place to be. And we it's nice to see some of these states that are A's, excellent. Now, are they truly A's? Well, I hope so. I hope this report here really hones in on actually every single state. But I can almost attest that New York could be a D. And based off of what I've learned over the past 10 years, I'm kind of concerned if New York is actually a D. I'm kind of concerned because I think New York is leaning more towards the F than the D. But I'm not here to go back and forth with who creates the reports. I'm here to highlight the understanding that we have to do a better job. It's just that simple. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So out of the 50 states, only 16 of them have an A or a B score or a B grade. We got to do better, folks. We have to do better, or we're going to find ourselves in these similar situations that we have pleaded with our elected officials to get us out of, and they're not able to. It's not that I'm not even going to say that they don't want to. I'm going to say more is that their partnerships with us are not beneficial for us. Very much beneficial for them, but it's not beneficial for us. And we need to reorchestrate new partnerships with institutions so that they understand you're taking from those who could equally make your businesses more profitable. And all you have to do is decide what you want to do as far as assisting elected officials, assisting. You can't keep telling us and then you're going out there doing the complete opposite. Companies, same thing. Why don't you have a financial literacy program within your company to make sure that your workers can understand what their pay rates and scales and things look like when they get their paycheck? Why is it that, again, academia, K through 12, and also higher level of academia, why is it that they're not focusing on these critical issues? You're wanting valued workers, but yet you won't do the thing to create the value that you want. You have to decide. Since we're all on this recovery path together, well, you have somebody who wants to do the heavy lifting and who already has done the heavy lifting. Now I'm asking you to get out of your way and join us as we continue to have this necessary conversation about financial literacy, financial intelligence, and also diving into a space that is somewhat controversial, which is day trading and investing. A lot of us have zero clue how money works. So we give our money to these institutions, and what do? They make thousands of percentages, and then they turn around and give us pennies back in return. All right, DJ Quick, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was him. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. All right, so now that you know what your letter grade in your state is, what are you going to do to create the improvement that you want? Well, here are some suggestions. Financial literacy. All right, the objectives, the actions, the plans, the growth, the strategy, the management, the analysis, the investment, the training, the solutions. What are we going to do? Well, let's continue. All right, so first we got to know what financial literacy is. Financial literacy, the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. There it is, right there. Those three. And trust me when I tell you, it's way more than just those three, but these three are just three that we're going to focus on for today. Personal financial management. Knowing how to personally manage that household so that each month, each week, whatever it is that you're deciding to, even each day, keeping more of your resources for you versus giving them to someone else. At the end of the month, how much do you have left over? At the end of the week, when you get paid, how much do you have left over? Do you have enough money management to make sure that you have money saved or put away for an emergency? I'm going to come up with another statistic that's going to probably shock you as well about how much individuals do not have when it comes to an emergency situation. But now that you understand what financial literacy is, again, the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing, all very important. So financial literacy forms the foundation for your relationship with money. And it is a lifelong journey of learning. A lifelong journey of learning. This is not something that you may have learned from grandma or grandpa or auntie or uncle or whomever, and then you were done. No, things, situations, circumstances change. So this is a lifelong journey, and you're always going to have to make some necessary course corrections. Starting early provides a significant advantage as education is the key to financial success. Let's say that one more time. Starting early. I have a 5-year-old nephew. I have quite a few 5-year-olds. I think I have 3 or 4 5-year-old nephews. But nevertheless, I have a large family of individuals. And I have, as I said, when I first got here, my whole soul was all about making sure that the adults had the understanding of how to recover from financial hardships. And then, as I said, I found out that adults, they don't want to get out of their own way. They want to not be told, and it's almost sad that they almost don't even want to be shown. So I, of course, corrected. I went from a singular issue, which was credit, and I opened it up to a multifaceted area of financial literacy, financial intelligence. And over the last 4 or 5 years now, I dove into the investment space and that day trading, which we call now leverage assets. And I have to tell you, I'm rather shocked and amazed that something like this has not been and must now become part of the academia space. Starting early provides a significant advantage as education is the key to financial success. And we have to now start looking at the success of our youth, our most vulnerable. We have to start making sure that we have willing participants, that we have partners who are all about success, because that success is what we desire and what we want. All right, so what are some key financial skills? So budgeting. A budget is an estimate of income and expenses over a specific future period, typically compiled and reviewed periodically. All right, so a budget is an estimate of income and expenses over a specific future period. So that means if I get paid on a Monday, I'm going to budget myself to hope that I have enough resources that are going to carry me to that next payday. And if I budget myself properly, I probably will have a little bit left over, or maybe even more than just a little bit left over for adding it to that next paycheck that's going to be coming in. All right, so we got to get better at some of these understandings. We got to know what it means. We got to understand that if we follow a specific process, we'll probably find ourselves in a much better situation. Typically compiled with reviewed periodically. So that means you got to keep going back, and taking a look. What we found out in the credit space is that we're not monitoring our credit. We monitor our credit once it becomes a need. Since I don't need a car, there's no need for me to monitor it. Since I don't need a washing machine or a dryer, there's no need to monitor it. Since I don't need another new credit card or a credit card to start my credit process, then I don't need to monitor it. You need to be monitoring your credit just like you monitor your battery life on your phone. You need to monitor your credit just like you monitor that baby, that newborn. that you bring into the world. You need to monitor your credit just like you would if you were babysitting someone's child. You need to monitor your credit just like you monitor almost any aspect of your life, because it is an essential piece of that financial well-being. And if you choose not to, you can't blame anyone but yourself. Investments. Now, Dr. Yana B, if you guys do not know who this young lady is, you need to find out who Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse is. I mean, an amazing. She's someone that I truly am so grateful and honored to know, and I haven't used her in the capacity in which I needed to, but trust me when I tell you, there's going to come a time, and there is a time, that she's going to not only just help me, but she's going to be able to help you do what you need to do. Her resume is impeccable. One of the first African-American women on Wall Street. Again, I'm not going to sit here and go through her whole understanding of what she has accomplished already, but you need to tune into her show. You need to tune into her show on this network right here, Soul City, Thursdays. And I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but it's important that I share this with you. Thursdays, Access Wealth Nation. Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse is amazing, and you have no other choice. You have plenty of choices, but you should not pass up this opportunity to be in her programs when she is offering those programs. She is a queen of investments. She knows exactly how to help you make that money work. She's got 2 books out there that she has been promoting. One is Not to Be a Sucker, and she has another one that's equally on that same scale, but it's more oriented and directed towards women. That's 6 o'clock Thursdays, this network, Soul City Network, and that is Access Wealth Nation, Dr. Yana B. I don't like to jive into other people's spaces unless I give them that notoriety, because I'm not a credit guy. I'm not an investing guy or investment guy that can give you that type of advice. I am a credit guy, but I always blow up those who know what they're doing and give them that space on my show to also equally share with our audience what they need. This is a need, folks. Tune into that show. All right. So an investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal and generating income or appreciating in value over time. Appreciation refers to the increase in an asset's value. All right. We like stuff, and that is great. I'm so happy that we like stuff, but we need to start liking stock. We need to start owning the companies of the stuff that we keep buying. If you buy Nikes, then you need to own Nike. If you buy Apple, then you need to be owning Apple. If you buy Nvidia, you need to be owning. If you buy any of those, again, go through your closets, go through your cupboards, go through your house, and look at all of the stuff that you have acquired and ask yourself, so why is it that you haven't bought any of these companies' stocks? Why? Think about going back to we just watched President Biden celebrate D-Day, or not celebrate it, but recognize D-Day, the Great Generation. And if you go back to the Great Generation, and then you go from generation to generation to generation, 2025, there's going to be that 7th generation. If you're not wealthy, you're never going to be wealthy. Sorry. What do you want me to lie to you? I'm not going to do that. But I'm not saying that you can't become rich. Wealth is a generational thing. It's passed down from one generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. Rich can happen overnight. And I love to be able to explain it the way that Chris Rock explained it in one of his comedy specials. Chris Rock said that Shaq, when he was playing, was rich, but the person who was paying Shaq was wealthy. And that's where we need to understand. We are only going to create wealth when we understand how wealth is created. You can be rich today and you can be poor tomorrow. Okay? And that's because of poor money management and not understanding how to invest that money. 401ks, I'm not demeaning them. I'm not trying to put them in the spotlight of something horrible, but it's really disappointing when you give your money to an entity, and knowing what I know about day trading and investing and what percentage can be generated, It's pretty sad to know that I can create thousands of percentages per day. Banks are doing the exact same thing. Financial institutions are doing the exact same thing, but yet they turn around and only give us marginal returns per year. Thousands of percentages per day, but marginal returns per year. They're keeping our return. They're keeping our windfalls because we don't know enough about how this works. We have to stop relying on those who we think have our best interest at hand, but in all actuality, it's about their bottom line that they have in hand. We got to get better. We got to get better. So as I said, look through that household. You still got questions? Join me every Tuesday right here. Soul City Network. Send me a text. Send me an email. We're about 35 minutes in. And if you have any questions while I'm going through this, please do not hesitate to pop in a question here or there. A question either on YouTube, where you can find us, a question either on Facebook, or you can drop in a question on StreamYard. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate. We are open for all questions as we proceed through the remainder of the show. All right, so personal financial management. At its core, personal financial management involves understanding your financial situation to maximize your assets for daily living and future planning. You have to know what's going on inside your household. This is a must. This is a must. Your certified financial planner should not know more about your money than you. They should be the main ones that are educating you on how your money's working. You can't just keep giving someone your money thinking that they're going to look out for your best interest. You have to know what they are doing, every bit of what they're doing. And in that instance, yes, you want to know everything about what they're doing with your money. Because I can tell you right now, over the last 4 years, I've made more money the last 5 years, I've made more money in 5 years than I've made in 5 decades. Oh, yes. I've made more money because I decided to understand how my money works. I've decided to understand how investment and day trading works. I've decided to take more personal control over my financial matters. And I can honestly say, yes, I've made more money in 5 years than I've made in 5 decades. You can also say the same if you knew what I now know. And I'm willing, open. I am a sharer and a giver. And I'm giving you this right here for free, FREE, every Tuesday, every Saturday, even at the new location that we have secured. If you are someone who is in need of knowing what we know and you don't have the means, trust me, we're going to be reaching out to politicians. We're going to be reaching out to nonprofit organizations. We are going to create the platform that is necessary for us, the marginalized communities, to have what we are so desperately in need of, which is financial intelligence and financial literacy. We're not going to stop. Every single person is we want to hone in on, obviously, the African-American community that has been marginalized, but we will also equally work with other marginalized communities. Our Hispanic brethren and sisters, our Middle Eastern brethren and sisters, our Caucasian brethren and sisters, our Asian brethren and sisters. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what skin color, what ethnicity, or where you come from. If you are a member of these United States, and here's what's the beauty about this as well. We can take this globally. And everyone who is in need, being that I just said it, $1 trillion economies. They keep yelling and screaming out there, oh, the economy's so bad. The economy's so bad. The economy is not bad. The economy is robust. There may be days where it goes down. There may be moments where you see you're losing something, but think about Wall Street. Why does Wall Street have a bull? Why does Wall Street have a bull versus a bear? Oh, you're probably wondering, as someone who doesn't know anything about investing, what do you mean by bull and bear? Well, the bulls buy and the bears sell. The bulls buy, and America is all about buying. So the bull is the reason why it's right there in Wall Street. Now, there may be some other explanation as to why it's there. That's going to have to be disclosed or given prior knowledge to me so that I can pass it on to you. But it just thinking out of just the sheer understanding of just using that medulla oblongata, okay, using that brain. If you know what I know about the stock market, which its inception was, if I'm not mistaken, 1896, and it started out at $40. The Dow was hovering around 40,000. So please stop telling me that the economy is bad. Billionaires, millionaires, thousandaires, 100,000aires, please stop telling me that the economy is bad. You're making those who are marginalized communities believe that the economy is so bad, so they won't do their part in improving. Every single last one of you who can hear my voice, the economy is on fire. You just don't know how to capitalize. So stop believing what you hear on these various news channels. Stop it. Stop it, all of you individuals out there who claim that we're not doing enough. We're doing more than enough to keep this economy going. And those who understand it are capitalizing richly. All right. The number 2 company, which was Apple, lost its position to a company that just popped up recently, NVIDIA. $3 trillion. Apple's almost $3 trillion. Microsoft is $3 trillion. I go through a list, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to ask you to do the list. I'm going to ask you, tell me next week, how many companies out there do you believe that are $1 trillion companies or multi-billion-dollar companies? How many banks out there do you believe have more wealth than wealth? And who do you think those banks make that money off of? Yes, they make that money off of your money. Off of your money, yes. Come on now, we got to get smarter. Recovery is necessary. All right, so personal finance, a term that covers managing your money as well as saving and investing. Managing your money as well as saving. Savings has a whole new meaning for me. It's not just about giving someone that money and then they're holding it for us and giving us little back in return. No, savings is about you got my money and you're going to make sure that we have an equitable understanding. We don't want fair. We want an equitable understanding. We got to even stop using the oppressor's words when it comes to describing how our money should be working for us. We want an equitable understanding in our savings and in our investings. All right. Don't tell me about your Roth IRAs. Don't tell me about your CDs that are only going to give me 2, 3, 4, maybe upwards of 5. I already know, as I said, as someone who's been in that space for the last 5 years, I see thousands of percentages every single day. And you're going to tell me that you can only give us, those who do not know, only 5% in 365 days? You have been taking us for fools. And this is where it stops, right here at Leverage Credit Recovery, right here at Leverage Your Score, right here today, Tuesday, May 11th. Here it stops if you want it to. If you don't, it's just going to continue. It's just going to continue. But I, the person who I am giving you a recommendation and a suggestion to get in front of your financial well-being today. Personal financial management. We have to make sure that this becomes our focal point, our personal financial management. We need to make sure that our households are secured. Then after we make sure that the household is secure, we need to go out and we need to reorchestrate some positions that allow for us to be what banks don't really look at us as, valued consumers. Valued consumers. There should be no one out there who's not bankable or who is what they call unbankable. There should be no one out there using, and this is what I have to blame on politicians, financial institutions, employers, states, federal regulators, all of them. We should not have a third level of financial understanding. We should have 2, our employer and banks. But now we have another predatory lending institution out there. That's the third one. That's the one that really steals. Because if you're unbankable, where do you have to go? You have to go to somewhere where you probably going to end up paying even more money to get your own money. Think about that for a second. You're paying more money to get your money. Not that the banks are doing just equally as bad. Get that debit card. Swipe that debit card somewhere. They're going to charge you a fee. Take that debit card and go to the ATM machine. They're going to charge you a fee. Use your cash and shop. Your cash doesn't have that same value as it did. There's a tool that's on your phone that you can look and see what was the value of $1 in 1970 versus the value of $1 today. So we have to focus on personal financial management. And the only way to do that is to attend these shows, attend workshops, find individuals who are all about your success, not their bottom line. Because your bottom line, trust me, other businesses out there who are just trying to gouge and plunder and steal from the most vulnerable, if you understood that your bottom line will be met when you start taking care of consumers that need it the most. Right? So financial management, we have to do a better job. We have to do a better job there. We have to do a better job. Managing personal finances revolves around key areas such as income, knowing what your income is, knowing how to read that income statement. It revolves around your spending. Do not overspend. There's no need to, as you get paid, pay them bills first, then, pay yourself first. What I mean by paying yourself first is don't go out there spending half or 75% of your wage. No, you don't need to. Reward yourself with a cup of coffee. Reward yourself with a pair of jeans. Reward yourself with a shirt. Reward yourself with a hat. Reward yourself with one item. Keep that item somewhere within that 10 to 20%. After you reward yourself, it's now about taking care of that personal responsibilities, those obligations that you have committed to. The past is the past. What you have done in the past is now done and it's over with. And I need every single person to understand. And I need you to repeat this. I own up to my 10%, but that 90% we will be course correcting. All right, say it again. I own up to my 10%, but that 90% we will be course correcting. You got to tune in some more. You got to come back some more. I'm telling you that 90%, what I'm going to talk about, that's the big one. That's the big one, how you've been taken advantage of by almost every single element of your existence. All right, so that spending, that savings, I already talked about it. We need to make sure that our savings is giving us a nice return. We need to make sure that our investments are equally giving us a nice return and those protections. CFPB, FTC, district attorneys. These protection agencies that are there to keep us safe from predators. Well, folks, I'm sorry to have to say this. They haven't been doing the job correctly. We're not demeaning them. We're informing them. We're putting them on notice that we now understand what you have not been doing. Either you're going to or you're not. We're looking for willing participants as we navigate through this political cycle. Willing participants who wants to keep not just America thriving, but all its citizens as well. Yes, all its citizens, right? Smart personal finances entails strategies like budgeting, building an emergency fund, paying off debt, using credit cards wisely. Credit cards are the only building tool. I'm going to say it again. Credit cards are the only building tool. For those of you who don't like it, okay, that's perfectly fine. It's cool. But you must come from money. Because paying everything in cash, again, you must come from money. But those of us who don't come from money, understanding how credit works is going to help you with making sure that you are securing your financial future for not just you, but for generations to come. All right, paying off debt, using credit cards wisely, and saving for retirement, among other things. As I said, this is massive. The financial sector is massive. It's huge, and we're only tapping about that much when I talk about the African American community, when I talk about the Hispanic community, when I talk about the vulnerable citizens in our communities. We're only tapping that much. and there's this much space. So what do you want, folks? What do you want out of your existence? If you want the same thing that I want, well, then I think it's overdue time. All right, so here are some things that I thought would be helpful to giving you a little bit more insight. I know, as I said, we're about 10 minutes in to conclude this. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, please, at this time, it would be a great time to drop those questions into, as I say, we're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we're equally here on StreamYard. If you have a question, please do not hesitate to drop that in, and I'd be more than happy to. But even if you would like to pose that question later on, by all means, email us, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. You can send us a quick email also equally here right on Soul City. And as I said, to our Facebook channel as well. And we'll get right back to you. All right, so here are these items that I wanted you to walk away with. All right, to build a solid foundation for financial success, here are 10 key reasons why financial planning is essential. Income. Analyzes your income to determine how much you can allocate to basic expenses, taxes, and other necessities. You need to know what your income is doing for you. Is it enough? If it's not enough, are you afraid to talk to your boss about an increase in salary? You're still going to be exchanging time for money. So why is your time less valuable because you don't have the wherewithal to go to your boss and tell them, hey, I need a raise. I've been working for you for 6 months, or I've been working for you for a year. I've been working for you for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and you haven't seen an income increase. Well, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. All right, you need to know how your income works and whether or not it is working for you. Cash flow. Manage your spending and plan ahead to optimize your income. How much do I have left over after I've paid my bills? After I've met my contractual obligations? After I've done what I needed to do, how much is still left over? Well, that's going to tell you a lot about whether or not you're being paid properly. Wage stagnation, we know, has been going on for decades. For decades. We live in states now that they call at-will states, where your employer can fire you at will. So I now see where the trepidation may come from in asking or requiring of your boss, hey, can I get a little bit more bread? Because it's not happening for me. I see your bottom line is doing very, very well for yourself, but unfortunately, we, the employer, are not, or it's going to be the employee or not. Got to do better. Capital. Maintain surplus cash by effectively managing your cash flow. All right? Got to have those resources. Got to have those resources. If the resources are not there, how do you create the resources? Well, join these shows, join our programs, tune into Thursday show, Access Wealth Nation, tune into this show on Tuesdays. Find us. We want to help you make sure that you have what you need. Family security, ensuring your family's well-being and safety through insurance and other protective measures. We just lost a brother this over the last month, and it hurts. It hurts. He was my bigger brother. And I never really lost someone other than my sister. And it hurts. It hurts to lose someone so near and dear. We didn't have the best of relationships, but I longed for his phone calls. I longed for being able to touch and reach him and talk to him. But even though I know that he is in a much better place, he's not feeling any pain. And I look forward to the day that the Creator calls and pulls my card. But up until that time, let's make sure our people are okay. Let's make sure that we have all the protections in play for our people. All right, so where am I? Number 6, standard of living. Achieve the highest possible comfort through prudent financial planning. Let's get in front of the circumstances that we are so afraid of. Let's stop rewarding these stores with all of our hard-earned when we should be making sure that our hard-earned is protected for the emergencies that may or are inevitable of happening. Financial understanding. Use your decisions and their outcomes to gain better insights into your financial management plan. Assets. Acquire valuable assets or investments with low risk and limited liabilities. Low risk, limited liabilities. There are a lot of them out there. We just need to know which ones to tap into. Certified financial planners, love you, appreciate you, but I don't think that you're doing the most for your consumers. Again, I'm not coming at you, but I'm addressing a need that you must make sure that it's also helping your consumers. I know what you do. Banks, I know what you do. I know what you do, and you have to do a better job in making sure that those returns are more for your consumer than they are for your bottom line. Saving, maintain emergency funds or invest in high liquidity assets. That's how savings works. It builds compound interest, compound interest, compound interest. I tell my students all the time, don't compound your work, compound your money. Because if you understand compound interest, like I understand compound interest, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Albert Einstein who said compound interest. Those who understand it earn it. Those who do not pay it. Got to do a better job, folks. Got to do a better job. Ongoing advice. Build a relationship with a financial planning expert to support informed decision making. All right, certified financial planners, love them, appreciate them, but you have to make sure that you are making sure that your consumers are benefiting way more than you. My friend Antonio Kenyatta, who's a fiduciary, I love this person, appreciate him so much. And I know that he does what he does to make sure that his consumers and us, the individuals who he deals with on a regular basis, are making their money work. Just like Dr. Yanabe, making that money work. So understanding the importance of each of these elements can help you grasp the full complexity of a robust financial blueprint. You need these 10 key areas, hit me up and I'll be more than happy to share them with you. About 4 more minutes into the program, and I'm giving you a rundown because it's easier for me to make sure that I'm not missing out on any potential questions that might pop up. So again, investments in assets or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation over time. All right, so this is how we do it. You invest. You either are buying or selling. You're either buying or selling. The bulls buy, the bears sell. The markets go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Your job is to understand, how do I make money in both directions? How? Investing is only a one-track mind. Those who understand investing are on a 2-track vision, because they can go in both directions, as you can see so eloquently here. All right, so it's important that we start looking at investments. An investment in an asset acquired to build wealth and save money for from hard-earned income or through appreciation. The primary purpose for investing is to generate additional income over a period of specific time. You can see who's doing the most investing here. 73% of Caucasians invest. 10% of Hispanics invest. 8.7% of Black American invest. 4.6 Asians, others. You can see that the gap in between that the whites and every ethnic group below that. We're doing something wrong, folks. All right. Average age of an investor. Okay. Again, an investment involves committing capital such as time, money, or effort with the expectation of a greater return in the future than the initial input. It takes time for your investments to grow, but look at the average investor. Average investor for an African American or a Black, female, lower than in the male. Got to do better. We have no other choice. Types of investors with degrees. Bachelors, so 72%. Those who have bachelors. Those who have a master's, 12. Those who have an associate, 9. High school diploma. This is where you should be investing, in that high school area. Before you get into the working world, this is where you should be in putting a lot of that emphasis. All right, by wages. All right, by communities. We have to do a better job. Now that you have more information, an investment can refer to any medium, or mechanism used to generate future income, including bonds, stocks, real estate, property, or alternative investments. It's overdue time, people. Overdue time. Budgeting, an estimate to revenue and expenses over a specific period of time that is evaluated over a periodic base, on a periodic base. My apologies. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got work to do. And this was budgeting as of 2022. It is now 2024. We have work to do. I have to wrap this up because, as you can see, time flies when you are having fun. It flies when you are having fun. So let us know if you have any questions. Call, text, email, or use our link tree to get in touch with us. Free consultations. Our job is to make your job that much easier. All right, so reach out to us at 805-428-9424. As I said, you can use our link tree. Link tree is a great little tool that allows for us to put a variety of different items out there, and we're adding more and more items every single day. And you can also use our email to send us any type of inquiries. We'd be more than happy to address whatever it is that you may have. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to thank you for granting me the time to do what I do best, which is help you get to that next level. It is always a pleasure. It is always a joy to be a part of what I do, and I'm hoping that you get what you need out of these shows. Leverage your score with Tyrone Glover, your Dress Down CEO. As always, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, America.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.